Hello, Nomads, and welcome to the Nomads of Fantasy podcast. This is the quick review of the first season of the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. My name is Brandon. I am the host of the show, but I'm also here with my co-host. I'm also here with Eric.
Hello.
And I'm also here with Dave.
Utini to you all.
Oh, nice. So here we are. We're Star Wars fans. And, we didn't want to dig too deep in these episodes, but we wanted to, as fans of Star Wars and just of media in general, Boba Fett got his own show. And I think it was a long-ass time. Probably something that we thought would never have happened. But here we are. It just happened. So, real quick, what did you guys think of this first episode of the Book of Boba Fett?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I liked it.
It's like reintroducing the character, basically, to everybody that forgot about him from 20, 30 years ago, basically. He hasn't been around. He's one of the more mysterious people in Star Wars.
Yeah, he never really got his due in the original trilogy. I want to say, I think I looked it up before, he had something like 6 minutes of screen time throughout the entire original trilogy, which is insane to think about because, Boba Fett is like an iconic Star Wars character, but in reality, he didn't really do a whole lot in the original trilogy. He captured Han Solo, and then he got thrown into the Sarlacc pit, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The main thing was that he looked cool, so I feel like all the kids watching Star Wars back when it came out just latched onto that, and he's the perfect toy character. They produced a whole line of toys with him and everything. But I thought this was a really good first episode just to get, a bit of backstory of what happened right after Return of the Jedi and where he's at and how he escaped the Sarlacc pit and everything.
Which is one of the greatest questions / debates or whatever. Real Star Wars fans that read books or whatever, or comics, know that he got out, but this kind of shows, how he got out, which I thought it would be it was cool, but, it was like the Kill Bill coming out of the grave scene where he's dragging himself out of the dirt, but that was great. And then fucking Jawas show up, as always. God damn it. Steal all his armor.
I thought it would be a little more difficult for him. He made it look kind of easy. He had obviously his armor, the Beskar steel and everything probably protected him from the acid or whatever in the Sarlacc pit. But
I thought it would
basically
be a
just punched his way through, and
I thought he'd jetpack his way out, or set off a thermal detonator while he was in there, or something like that. But
his jetpack was damaged, correct? When it didn't Han Solo either damage it?
I think Luke nicked him.
Han Solo couldn't see.
Nicked him with his lightsaber,
and he was like, "Oh, maybe that's." I'm trying to think though, but I remember when Han's the one that hit.
Yeah, because that's what made him fly.
Okay,
that's what made him fly into the Sarlacc pit. It was his jetpack got damaged and malfunctioned.
Okay. Well, anyways, just the idea, we all have this history. If you're a fan of Star Wars, if you've been around for a long time with this franchise, Boba Fett was this character who, he got stuff in comics and books and all stuff, but we were teased with video games. We got really close to getting a Boba Fett video game that looked really cool, right? There was rumors of one even
14, 14 or that. I forgot what it was
13, 13, 14, whatever it was.
13, 13. Yeah,
something
13,
like that.
13.
But, we always wanted, and then we got, then we finally got the Mandalorian show, and that wasn't Boba Fett, but it was this Mandalorian kind of character. Obviously, it's called the Mandalorian.
It's like the Marvel setup. I think they learned a lot from the Marvel series, where they kind of you'd sprinkle somebody in there and kind of give them the lead into their own shit.
It's cool.
Building the universe. I wrote
right,
down.
because Boba Fett eventually debuts in season 2 of The Mandalorian. They don't even do it in the first season. They hold off to the second season, and they do it. And you're kind of talking around about the world building, right? And The Mandalorian definitely started doing that, because you can't do it too much in the movies. And if you do, there has to be heavy plot. Remember when Canto Bight happened in Last Jedi? That was just world building. They're just kind of showing you, the good and the bad, and kind of the dark side, dark like dark market and how people are everybody lies and all that stuff. So I mean, that did it go anywhere story wise? Probably not, but it was world building. But it's in a movie, and it's just you only have like 2 hours or so to really get everything across. But with a TV show, you can spread stuff out. So now I think with The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, especially with this first episode, you just get to see so much of the world at a slower pace, and it's different.
Nice, yeah.
But I like it.
Well, it's just
different.
You talk about world building. Something I really liked in the first episode was we kind of get a better glimpse at the Tusken Raiders and like their whole culture and everything surrounding them. Because, I mean, in the original trilogy, they're kind of, mysterious. Like, they're just these raiders going around Tatooine. We don't really know much about them other than they're causing trouble and stuff. But
you think
can
they're
I
just
say something
savage?
real quick, though?
Exactly.
I don't want to learn about them. I think with The Mandalorian, that was enough of me to see some of their culture. If I could have one complaint on this episode, is I just wanted to see Boba Fett walking around, like the areas that we know, and like was it Mos Eisley and going to like the streets and kind of
Mos Espa.
Yeah, so they gave you a little bit of that.
Like,
they split it into 2 separate stories. You have the flashbacks whenever he goes into the Bacta tank, which is a cool new Bacta tank version, which is nice. You got a nice one.
I like that. I kind of like the flashback stuff. It kind of reintroduces us to the character.
It's building the character with the flashbacks.
Oh, the flashbacks were fantastic.
I wasn't expecting that Camino flashback, and like Geonosis flashback.
Yeah, I love it.
It's like
when Boba was a little kid,
reminding you, like, well, why do we care about this person? Where did he come from? Because George Lucas, when he went and did the prequels, gave you the whole clone army, and all the clones are Boba's dad, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, kind of gave a little bit of life to that kind of branch of the storyline, but nothing really sense. But yeah, they give you the
I like
2...
that they do it when he's in the tub or whatever, the tube,
yeah.
The Bacta
thing.
tank.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when he's in there and he's sleeping, and that's when he's remembering. Like, that's a really clever way of not ham-fisting this like backstory, or having somebody talk over with some kind of exposition.
Yeah, because it's like an in-universe thing. Because he said like he's having these dreams again. So like these are actually like dreams and visions of his past and everying.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say, like, there's the 2. There's the character learning more about Boba in the back flashes, and then kind of learning more about the universe in the current day part of the story where people are coming to pay him tribute, which I thought was kind of one of the funnier scenes. Like the creepy mayor's underlord guy that shows up, and
that was really good.
Like,
I like that.
Whoever that casting on that guy was pretty great because he had that smarmy, wise ass look to him. Like,
I didn't like that guy at all.
No,
really?
it was great.
I was waiting for you guys he felt so not in Star Wars. He's like talking. I don't know. Like, I like the idea.
Yeah, it's always weird when people with crazy alien makeup in Star Wars talk with normal human voices. You know?
Yeah. It looked like a bit.
Weird.
It was like Saturday Night Live a little bit there. Sorry, my throat is a little scratchy. I have like a sore throat here. So
I think it's good that they did that though, because like I feel like you needed that for the humor to land a little bit in that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that whole scene where Boba Fett's trying to assert his dominance and everything as the new crime boss and all that stuff. And he's trying to do it differently than Jabba did. Like, he says he wants to rule with respect and not fear.
That's one thing I wrote down too.
I guess
he's a bad, like in the original trilogy, he's a bad guy, and here he's like the main part of the story, and they kind of make you like him because he's still
I feel like he's kind of neutral here. He's not good or bad.
Yeah, he's the working man's crime lord. That's what I put down because he walks places himself. He gets his hands dirty. He does, he actually, talks and doesn't have Gamorreans carrying him on thrones like the Hutts did, so it makes him kind of likable and relatable. Like, I'm going to go.
A lot of people did a lot of talking about him because he doesn't he only had a few minutes in the OG trilogy. So it's not like he was saying any of this shit. So there's just a lot of reputation around people, and like we've seen people lie in Star Wars. If you watch the movie Solo, when he does like the whole Kessel Run, the time that he throws is different than like what you hear other people saying in like episode 4 or whatever. Like he changes it, and I like that kind of that's like that would really happen. Like the fish gets bigger. Like the fish I caught was this big, and over time it gets like really big. So I don't know. I just think that could be happening with Boba Fett, where he is this guy with this reputation, but from his perspective, we haven't seen shit. He was always just lingering around Jabba or Darth Vader, but never on his own. So now we're seeing the man from the myth kind of thing. So I thought the title was really cool. It was Stranger in Strange Lands or something, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Something like
Stranger
that.
in Strange Land. Yep.
Yeah, and which sounds also like a spaghetti western. It's about to start, so I thought that was just it was cool. So I think that's what they mean with the Book of Boba Fett is like this is his story, because we and also as fans we've just been speculating and wondering and pondering and making up all these skits and comics and all the stuff about more of that guy because we wanted to get more, and you never really got it from the movies.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the music? I really liked it. I like the main theme and everything, good. And the late title card was good. Yeah,
some parts are.
I think it's the same. It's all the same people that worked on The Mandalorian, right?
I
know it's Jon Favreau and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm assuming same music, but same kind of tone, but it's a little bit different.
So, some of the shots were a little cheesy with like him standing on top of like the sand monster that they fought as they like slow pan from below and the tramp like it's a little much there.
I don't know about that sand monster scene. I mean, I get the purpose of it. Like, it pretty much showed that Boba Fett was badass and he earned the respect of the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah.
Like that was the entire purpose of that scene. But like, it was like you said, it was a little cheesy.
Some of the like the fight with when they got jumped in the streets after he went to the casino or whatever, like some of that fight scene was a bit off, I thought, but the chase scene ended up being cool.
I didn't mind it. They had the Gamorrean guards or whatever. I was just like
Gamorreans. Those dudes fucking rule.
Gamorrean guards. I love the Gamorrean guards.
I just want to see. I mean, that's what I like. I love seeing. I mean, like Tusken Raiders. We got to see Jawas or whatever. That was cool.
Fucking Jawas.
I think. I like that they do they did this with The Mandalorian too. They do like fan service, but not in like a super obvious way. Like one, you mentioned the casino. Did you guys notice Max Rebo was in there?
I did notice Max Rebo. I think that's where the
but
person
why
cried.
Would he be there?
Right. It makes sense.
It made sense. All of it made sense. Dude, even like when they showed the those little droids that work in the episode 1, the pod racing little guys. You can hit him.
Yeah, the pit droids. Pit droids.
Yeah. He has them. And I'm like, well, duh. That's right. They're all on the same planet. So it's just cool that they're showing us. That makes sense. That makes sense. If they would have had, I don't know, Chewbacca walking through or something. I don't know. Something like, I know.
That's where, yeah.
But
I mean, we
can
talk
was
about
a good
the fucking.
touch.
Yeah. But they do a really good job of working that stuff in, like stuff that we know and recognize as Star Wars fans. But they work it in a good in-universe way. So
yeah, so we got to meet a couple new characters. It was pretty brief. I mean, there was a lot to do in the first episode. You kind of have to pick up where we left off from Mandalorian, and he had the council kind of courtroom, whatever, and everybody's giving him gifts and. The mayor sends like his dude, basically says, "How about you give me a gift?" So that it was kind of it was interesting because are you the villain? Like I have no idea. But that's I mean the villain
who really runs the shit.
Yeah, power move. So I was like, all right, politics, interesting. I mean the dude that plays Boba Fett is not 20 years old, so he's older. So I understand that like action's gonna be pretty stiff, probably.
Right.
It's not going to be as fluid as
he's still badass though. Like you can tell he's like really strong and experienced, and he's a veteran. And it's kind of like Darth Vader in the original trilogy. Like he moves slow, but he's like he has like a foreboding silhouette. So I feel like that's kind of the same thing as Boba Fett.
I'd like to learn, and maybe this is what the show's going to give us, but what does he live for? Like, does he want to have a kid? Is he going to want to go to Camino? Is he going to be on this?
I was kind of wondering what the purpose, what his goal here is, Like, sure, he came back to Tatooine and took over, the whole crime syndicate. But why?
But why?
You know,
Yeah.
just for money, just for power. What's his motivation here?
Sure, they'll get to it because I mean they wouldn't have those flashbacks to him when he was a kid. Like they kind of, I think that's a little bit of foreshadowing there. Maybe he goes to Camino and tries to clone himself, have his own kid. I don't know. Who knows? So, but there's Kenobi coming up, so they could be setting up stuff into the next season of Mandalorian or into the next season of Kenobi. Who knows what's going to happen there? Kenobi's already dead. Right now. Never mind. Sorry. Scratch that.
Season 1, episode 1. It happened in The Mandalorian, but not till season 2. Will we see lightsabers in the Book of Boba Fett? I feel like they always have to work it in somehow.
I mean, you only got
Ahsoka
and Luke.
Probably.
Those are the two.
Luke is hanging around.
Yeah, Luke and Ahsoka are the two that it would probably do it. I can't see anybody else having a fucking lightsaber, unless.
I mean, at this point somehow. In the universe, all the Jedi are dead. Basically, except for Luke and Ahsoka. But yeah. I don't know. I hope they don't, because that's kind of what I liked about the first season of The Mandalorian, is that they kind of
no force powers
it from the rest of the Star Wars universe. Yeah, no force powers.
Yeah, just Baby Yoda,
Grogu.
Times. Right, but he couldn't control it. He had no idea. He only did it when he could, or when it was last second, or something like that. But yeah, that's the thing. That's why the music is different. It doesn't have that John Williams sound. It's actually like more Western or. I don't know, Western, I guess, but music is good. Digging the actor. I like that. I like that they have the same guy. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
They did
Yep, I love that.
They didn't ruin us, showing us for once the canon version of how the fuck he got out of a Sarlacc pit. And
yeah, it's a tough.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure there too, because. Like you said, this is one of the greater Star Wars, one of the more mysterious people in the Star Wars universe. Everybody else has their own thing at some point or another, more or less. Unless we're getting like a Chewbacca one-off prequel story, but
I love the look of his armor too. It's like
really nice.
It's like it's different from his original armor, but it's still like the same form factor. It's just almost like refurbished, but
he has black underneath now.
Yeah, I like that.
The black makes sense, it just like you see that with Gandalf, the gray going to white. So when Luke also goes black, I think typically everybody ends up at black at some point. So yeah, I think it looked awesome. Yeah, he looks great. The helmet looks good. I think Fennec's helmet is weird, but it does feel Star Warsy. Yeah. It just looks silly because
it reminds me of the helmet. It reminds me of the helmet with the disguise that Leia had in Return of the Jedi. That kind of look.
She was trying to cover her. Yeah, but Fennec you can't see anything.
She has
I thought it was for sniping
thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, that makes. Right. Functionally, I don't know how much that makes sense, especially for when she's running on buildings trying to fight these ambush,
she's
guys who ambush them.
Not that young, but she holds her. I mean, unless it's somebody else doing these stunts, but
it's gotta be somebody. When I saw that rooftop chase scene, I'm like, there's no way she's jumping parkour in there.
I had that same thought. It's easy to put a stuntman in that role, especially when they have a helmet on. You can just hide their face and just put someone else in the suit.
You just need to have the ponytail at the back. But she's finally starting to shake that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was always that agent on there that I saw for the longest time. That was the only thing I saw her in, and then she popped up here.
I always see Chun-Li.
Chun-Li
from the Street Fighter movie from back in the 90s.
I like her as a character. She's a good right hand to Boba Fett. I feel like Boba Fett kind of keeps her in line a little bit because she's always like, "Do you want me to kill him?" He's like, "No," and bring back the ambusher alive, So he's kind of directing her and everything. So.
Well, you got to torture him to find out who's ambushing him.
Right. Get more info on that. Yep. I thought it was
those Gamorreans again. The Gamorreans saved him and dragged his ass back to the
back of the tank. So. They're loyal. They're loyal to their ruler.
Yeah, I was gonna say the quality of the CG. I was actually impressed with. They're doing a really good job. I guess because of the Mandalorian and all that stuff, but it's just really good. Because when you watch other TV shows do CG, it's not that good. It's not as good, and
not when you have that Disney money behind you.
They're using the Unreal. Crazy. They're probably using all the Unreal Engine stuff with the giant 5 video wall screens. They did that in The Mandalorian for a while because of his armor was so it was so shiny they couldn't film it on a green screen, so they built these giant ass Unreal Engine walls, which is
the only thing I thought looked sweet. A little. We already mentioned it was that sand monster thing. Like it looked good, but like there was something about it. It gave me like fucking Goro vibes from Mortal Kombat or something. You know,
when it started walking on all fours, I'm like,
yeah, it's just laying in this desert. It was just weird.
The design, I don't know. I didn't love the design of that thing, but I like the little Tusken Raider dog thingy. I don't know what the name for that is, but
yeah,
I thought that looked really good. And
they were also in episode 2.
Oh,
they were outside chewing on a bone outside of his mom's.
You're right. I didn't even think about that.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. More world building there. Just kind of seeing them, more as like this. Yeah, they're like dog.
Mm-hmm. Overall, the look is just really like you can see that they're mixing practical effects and CG really well. I think I'm glad that they got away from just doing all CG like they did in the prequels because that just looked really bad. But I think the mix of practical and CG looks really good here.
Yeah, it's interesting also that Boba Fett is, even though Star Wars is for families, for all ages, Boba Fett always seemed to be, like, to me, the character for adults. Like kids would be like, "Well, he's cool looking. He's a bad guy." But for adults, we would make up these stories of what a bounty hunter in Star Wars is like.
Because he's from like the dirty crime syndicate aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, the underworld.
So I just hope they don't go. I don't know. I don't want him to be like, he's like helping out that kid Tusken, and he doesn't kill the dog like thing. And
he's like
and I'm like, he's good.
He's like Is he good? He's like a bad guy with a heart of gold, that type of thing.
I don't know. I thought
there's so little
it feels weird a little bit.
When they threw out all the book canon, they kind of just gave it a blank slate. So you can kind of, when Disney took it over and decided, I don't know, we're gonna drip feed out everything that people have wanted. Finally, putting out a Kenobi series, putting out the Boba Fett series. Seems like I don't know. I don't know if they're like playing catch up or are they like drip feeding like the super fans on what they want slowly, little by little, or they
probably. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
Yeah, and apparently there's other clones that are still alive technically in canon.
I have to assume like some of them survived the Clone Wars and are just living out their days somewhere.
Yeah, I was doing
fix his daddy issues with a clone trooper somewhere.
They would be older, yeah, because they would be. Wait, how could they be alive? I thought they sped up their age. Is it sped up? And I don't know much about.
Oh, once they're out of the factory, I think they're back. They're just set at that age, so they would all be older than them.
No. Well, I mean, they can explore it. That'll be cool. That'll be interesting. Like the whole Clone Wars was always mysterious, and then we got it. It was like, yeah, it was cool, but like I'd still like to see some artifacts in conversation and politics and maybe story. So if there is another clone, like he goes to an area and he's being framed. It turns out there's like another one, that'd be cool. Mm-hmm. They could do it. So, but overall, if you guys could give this episode a rating out of 10, what would you give this episode?
I would say 8.5. I was struggling between 8 and 9, so I would say 8.5. It's not
close.
Not quite a 9, I don't think. But it's just the first episode, so like it's setting the tone for what's to come. So, good first episode, 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I said 7.58. So, nothing too crazy. Yeah. Some of the fight scenes were a little
good, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a solid setup. You can kind of see how they're pushing it forward.
Mm-hmm.
8 makes sense to me. All right. Well, so before we wrap up, was there a favorite part of this episode? Was it like a sequence? Was it an element? Was it a character?
I mean, they showed a lot in the previews, but I just liked him like sitting on the throne when everyone's coming to pay tribute and everything.
Games of Thrones, just sitting there.
Yeah, because I mean, that's kind of how they set it up. Is he's the new crime boss of Mos Espa and everything, and we got to see how he's going to run things. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool. I'm just really curious where they go from here, and like where, if they're going to like dig more into his backstory, and if he wants to find out more of his origin, or if he's going to lean harder into like, you know, becoming more of a Jabba-like figure. So I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
I love the cool green color they put on the Star Wars font at the beginning.
Ooh.
It went from blue to yellow, and now Boba's got his own green font. No, I think escaping the Sarlacc pit's got to be up there, because just to see it on screen, see it, you know, how it happened. Now it's official canon until somebody else buys Star Wars and wipes away all the Disney stuff. But it's cool to see. I mean, it's a nice reintroduction, kind of just building out where he is. A lot of shit happens on Tatooine for being just like they always say it's Outer Rim, and it makes it sound like nobody goes there, but a lot of shit happens on Tatooine.
A lot of shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And how is he not dead of sunstroke? There's 2 suns.
I don't know.
He should have been burnt to shit.
Especially in that armor, unless the armor's got some kind of cooling mechanism. I don't know.
Or when the Tusken Raiders had him. The Tuskens had him sitting out in the sun baking for a while.
Oh, yeah. So, that's true. Yep.
That's pretty. I always find something. But looking forward to it.
I'm with you guys, though. I just like that first 10 minutes was... It was really good. It was just, you know, give me some, you know, show me those flashbacks of old episodes, and like that was from the movies. Like that was cool. Show me the Sarlacc escape. Okay. You know, do the slow pan through Jabba's palace. I love it. You know, I thought it was great. And then, you know, and then getting into the Game of Thrones, just sitting on his throne with his number 2 right there, and just kind of getting, you know, some dude walking in with like a pelt of a Wookiee.
It's a Wookiee pelt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it was good. So it's just action's great. I love action, but like the last part, that action scene didn't really do it for me. It was like, Tusken kid and him survive, and he takes out Goro in the desert, but like the head is brought off, and I don't know. I didn't really care. I just whatever. Is this how he got his fucking staff?
Right.
You know, like who cares? Let's go. You know. But that earlier stuff, man. Oh, that was so good. Just show me that. I don't need all that action. Just I want to see how he like talks to people and busts out. I love how like a Mandalorian and Boba Fett, they whenever shit goes down, flames. It's always just all right.
Break out the flamethrower.
I can get out of here with my flames.
Oh yeah.
It's universal. Like, it's a universal. Everything burns eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that was the first episode. So it was just quick review on this. Just how we felt about it, kind of hit on some points, but I mean, we all saw the same movie. So if you like this conversation, Eric, where can people get a hold of us?
You can find us at Nomads of Fantasy on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us, nomadsoffantasy@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on this first episode of Book of Boba Fett. We'd love to hear them. We'd love to read them. And you can find us at nomadsoffantasy.com as well.
Yeah, tell anybody about the show if they want to get involved with it. You know, we love taking people's questions and doing polls and stuff like that to keep it fun and engaging and just kind of get everybody's ideas about the episodes. So anything from you, Dave?
No, I'm golden. Stay frosty.
Why are you gold? Why are you golden?
It seems to be a good color.
Yeah, I'm golden. I guess like rich, like I don't know.
Sure.
I've never thought about that. All right, who cares? Whatever. Yeah, we're out of here.
Peace out, Nomads.
May the force be with you.